Hey everybody, this is the fashionista, Merrick Brave, and you're listening to the Slam Fam Wrestling Network. Welcome to the family.
Are you ready for a podcast?
Never do that again.
Are you ready for some podcasts?
I told you to never do that again.
Are you ready for a podcast?
Stop, or I'm gonna have to call somebody else in here.
Who are you gonna call?
Vince Russo?
No, I'm done.
Okay. Bro, can we address the 100-pound elephant in the room here?
Only what? What 100-pound elephant in the room?
You refusing to acknowledge the fact that Mrs. Incredible is attractive.
I'm not discussing this on the air.
Darnell Mitchell even commented.
No, he did not say she was attractive.
He said he said something that supported my theory.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
You're a liar.
Folks, welcome to episode 71 of Off the Chest with Timothy Regal. I, of course, am your host, the most famous man on the Slam Fam Wrestling Network, Timothy Regal. Joined, as always, by the 7-Star Mind, the leader of the 7-Star Mind Academy, Alex McCarthy. Our show available on Stitcher, SoundCloud, iTunes, wherever you get your podcast from. Thank you for joining us this week. Alex, how was your weekend?
Pretty good.
I heard it was hot.
It was hot in Mingo.
Where? Okay, first off, for those of us who are uninitiated, where is Mingo?
It's a little bit closer to the Quad Cities than Des Moines. It's a couple miles outside Des Moines, kind of between Newton and Des Moines. I would say.
So it's a little podunk between Newton and Des Moines. I know where Newton is. Okay.
Yeah.
They don't even have a Casey's.
Yeah, they don't pass my town test.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Can you really call it a town if it doesn't have a Casey's?
They have a bar.
They have a bar?
Yeah.
Well, Donahue has a bar.
Yep.
Donahue doesn't have a Casey's.
Then it doesn't pass my town test.
Donahue does have an amazing pizza place.
Yeah?
Yes.
I think I heard that the food at the bar was good.
Okay.
I didn't eat there.
Okay.
Oh, we got food from a taco truck. That was pretty good.
There was a taco truck there?
There was a taco truck there. It was
Awesome.
the only concessions at the event.
But it's Mingo Days.
Yeah.
And the only food vendor was a taco truck?
I think they were selling ice cream in the community center.
Okay. Even at the firefighter festival in Durant, there were multiple places to get food.
You're gonna bury Mingo?
I'm not burying Mingo per se. I'm just saying that seems a little odd.
The event for the main event that evening, I think, was a potluck.
Although, wow, this.
I was gonna ask you something. And I was gonna ask you on the air, but I don't think I can ask you on the air anymore.
What? Go ahead.
No.
Shoot, no, do it.
No.
No, ask.
No, I really don't want to ask you on there.
Yeah, you can't bring it up and then not ask.
There is a person who is interested in bringing their podcast to the network, and Margaret and I are on board with it, but we wanted to get your and Kat's vote before we make an official announcement.
Is it Brady a Desire?
No.
Okay. Well, possibly coming soon. I don't know. Should we share with the listeners?
I don't know, because I don't want to say that they might come if they're not coming.
Well, maybe well, something to keep your eye on the Twitter for, folks. But
watch social media.
Yes. There is a question now. Obviously, You were in Mingo on Saturday.
I was in Mingo on Saturday.
It was very hot.
It was pretty hot.
How did summer school at the 7 Star Mine Academy go?
They all flunked.
They all flunked?
They all flunked.
What about, how are your guest instructors?
They did very well. I didn't exactly see the end of that match because that big oaf, JD Riggs, put me in a bear hug.
Ugh.
So, yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. He put me in a bear hug, so I didn't get the chance to see how the match ended, although I heard that Skylar Pierce hit Moondog with a leg drop and pinned him 1, 2, 3.
Skylar Pierce from Mingo, by the way.
Yes.
I'm sure the Moondog has been attending some remedial training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, obviously, dude, there is one thing from Mingo Days that I need to talk about.
Yeah.
How much of a badass is Anthony Gutierrez?
Oh, Sharkbait's so badass.
Dude.
Well, that wasn't just Mingo Days. He's been in a couple shows now.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. The reason he's a badass is, even your Chargee Moondog, who normally wrestles barefoot.
Moondog doesn't wrestle barefoot.
He normally does.
He used to. He hasn't wrestled barefoot in a long time.
You know why he quit wrestling barefoot?
Because he joined the 7 Star Academy and got smart.
Well, before that, he actually started wearing shoes the first time he ever walked into a rig in 100-degree heat. Yeah.
Yeah, they make dog shoes, Regal.
Anthony Gutierrez wrestling Rory Fox barefoot in the heat of the day outside on a bear wrestling mat. That...
Remember when I was obsessed with finding In the Heat of the Night on streaming?
Yeah, did you finally find it?
No.
Oh, sorry.
You just said something about the Heat of the Day, and it reminded me of In the Heat of the Night.
Oh,
great show.
Never really
Carol
got into
O'Connor,
that.
yeah.
Carol O'Connor's great, but never really got into it.
Yeah.
That was kind of one of those. My grandparents watched this show back in the day. That's kind of how I looked at that one.
Well, I always watch reruns on WGN.
I mean, and granted, you have the mentality of a grandpa, so.
A wise, intelligent person? Why, yes, I do, Regal. Yes, I actually do. You should try it. You uneducated.
Okay, no, but seriously though, this is the one I was out for. So Sharkbait. First of all, the announcer. Okay, I use the word announcer loosely. They pulled the ref into new announcing because they forgot to get an actual ring announcer for the show.
Well, I don't know that they forgot.
Or he didn't know. There's no way he knew ahead of time that he was doing this.
Well, they used to have a ring announcer, then he decided to become a manager.
No, they have another ring announcer to replace him. Like, that's not an issue. Then they had another ring announcer to share the show with that replacement ring announcer. They have plenty of ring announcers.
Oh yeah, Tito. He's actually pretty good. I like Tito.
He just announced him as Sharkbait, not Sharkbait Gutierrez. So he says Sharkbait, and someone else in the crowd goes, "Ooh ha ha!" And I was like, "Well, finally someone said it." But,
I don't get the reference, but
You've never seen Finding Nemo?
Oh,
Sharkbait.
yeah.
Sharkbait Ooh-ha.
Sharkbait Ooh-ha. Okay.
Yeah. So
It's been forever since I watched Finding Nemo. I never watched Dory.
I'm not so much live tweeting the thing as I'm live Instagramming the thing.
She did a great job, by the way.
There are some. You want to see Anthony Gutierrez? Check out our Instagram. I have this.
Excellent video clips, by the way.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. But you should have seen the number of ones that didn't make it.
Margaret, you should consider becoming a clipper.
So I'm looking down at my phone half the time because if I'm not actually recording, I'm posting something, and all of a sudden this foot just appears on the bench beside me, and it's like, what the fuck? And I'm looking up, and it's Sharkbait. And he noticed that I have my water bottle with me. He asked me to pour water on his feet mid-match.
I will say the one time where Moondog never went barefoot in an outside show again is because he legitimately got burns on his feet from the mat. It was that hot.
They had a lighter colored mat, though. It's kind of like pastel blue.
Yeah, theirs is at least pastel blue, so it's a little bit... keep in mind that SCW had a black black
and
mat.
They still do!
Yeah.
Granted, they don't do a lot of fair shows, so that might be it, because there's no way you can do a regular fair show circuit with a fucking black mat.
I know, I will say, thankfully, last Black and Brave night, it was unseasonably cool.
Yeah.
It was almost cold. It was like by the end of the baseball game, I was actually kind of cold. But 2 years ago for Black and Brave night at the ballpark, it was in July, and it was literally one of the hottest days of the summer. And I know the only person who didn't wear their shirt during their match, I think, was Zicky Dice. And he said just taking a back bump felt absolutely agonizing on a black mat in the heat.
It wasn't too bad in the shade. Because I actually, I was asked if I wanted to do commentary, which I thought was weird because, it's a fair show. There's not usually, fair shows are quote-unquote non-canon, more or less. And I'm like, I'm not sitting in the sun at the black covered table to record. Nah.
Well, it's like a firefighter fest last year where, conveniently, we set the sound/commentary booth up under the biggest, giant, shadiest tree we could find.
Although, can I just say something? And I get why they do this, but wrestlers need to stop trying to use the weird stuff in the environment at fair shows. Because it happened at the Durant show, SCW. They were climbing on the playground equipment nearby, and half the crowd couldn't see them. And then at this one, first of all, I got pissed because they had this inflatable Hungry Hippos game where 4 players would be attached to tethers and you had to run to grab the balls but be constantly being pulled back type of thing.
Dude, that sounds like the most fun ever.
They so at one point, and then there was a inflatable slide next to it. So of course 2 different matches, someone ends up on one of these things. One match during the tag, I think it was, I don't remember which guys it was, they end up in the thing. There's kids still inside it.
Wow.
So they're climbing out of this thing, and then you see these 2 little kids climbing out after them. And I was like, what the fuck?
Did anybody?
To be fair, actually, from my vantage point, it looks like the kids went in after them.
True, those were some aggressive kids.
Did anybody play
God.
tic-tac-toe though?
No, I don't believe so. I don't believe anybody played tic-tac-toe.
The kids there were scary aggressive.
And did anyone use monkey bars?
No.
So there was no yelling about certain people being on monkey
You
bars?
can just say the joke,
No,
Regal.
I really wish you wouldn't.
I'm not going to. Shout out to our friend Carmelita.
She doesn't listen.
It was
Probably
a
not
black
the joke.
woman that said it towards a black man. It's not like you're the one coming up with the joke.
I'd rather he not say it.
Let's not, because some people may misconstrue it. But no, it sounds like
Not that bad.
you had a good time at the Mingo Days.
I had a half-eaten gummy worm thrown at me.
By who?
Willie Sweet.
That dude creeps me out, man.
He's actually kind of hot when he doesn't have all the freaky makeup on. I've never seen him without makeup, but it all sweated off during the match.
That dude kind of weirds me out a little bit.
No, okay, so aggressive kids.
Yeah.
This guy, they all got into the crowd. Some of the guys when they came out would literally turn and make a beeline for the crowd to get in their faces before the match started. I was like, okay, trying a little bit too hard, but I understand. So he does this. And he ends up on the outside of the guard after the match, and he's crawling around, and he flops to the ground, exhausted. This little kid could not have been more than 7 or 8. Jumps on him and starts hitting him in the face. And I'm like, please tell me this is a nephew or a kid of a family friend or something. Please tell me this is literally not just a random kid jumping on this guy to hit him.
This is a kid who is completely 100% into the act.
Fair shows are always so weird.
Regal, do you have any stories of kids actually trying to shoot on workers?
Not that I can remember, but I've seen it come pretty close. I'm guessing this is the same group of kids that raised the ire of a certain long-legged, fast-talking Puerto Rican.
No, he was more arguing with the women. He wasn't arguing with the kids too much.
Yeah, the women sitting next to me were and I think, if I remember correctly, that they were friends or related to someone on the roster. I don't remember who.
Well,
wasn't Joysa, but
I was maybe they were just not attracted to tiny hats.
He doesn't wear the tiny hat anymore. Although what's her name in Dubuque keeps the tradition alive.
The tiny hat. The tiny hat will never. Tiny hat will never die in Dubuque.
No,
I
finally asked her. She gave me one. She gave me one of the tiny hats she brings. The little tiny hat on a stick that she always brings to hand out to people.
The newest one that will never die in Dubuque is Fire Socks.
I'm sad Star Nipples died.
Star Nipples, yeah. Star Nipples
that was
died
only for one
off.
show, but it's apt. So what happens, Mr. Energy, when you get tattoos of stars around your nipples? What do you expect?
don't know why he ever thought that was a good idea, but hey, it's.
Well, what kind of tattoos you got on your nipples, Regal?
I don't have tattoos on my nipples. I have one tattoo on my arm.
I have 3, and I'm gonna get one more in like 2 days.
Yeah, you have more tattoos than me, mainly because I'm a cheap.
My middle-aged pastor's wife mother has more tattoos than me. It's really not that big a sign of edginess anymore.
My problem is I'm a cheap old bastard that
Regal,
doesn't
did
want
you
to pay
punch
money
go
for
off?
tattoos.
My favorite part was like when wrestlers are supposed to be like the big heels, but they've got big ass Bible verses tattooed on them.
Or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes!
Not that we don't know anybody that does that.
Or the one that has a bunch of different Pokemon.
Or a certain person that's gifted has a Lion King tattoo.
It's just funny. It's like, okay, Mr. Tough bad guy with the tattoos. You got cartoon characters.
Yeah, it's like.
Take away the edginess. It's not like skulls and flaming, swords.
Like the Undertaker got tattoos that made him look like a badass.
Although, well, I mean, Lesnar tried to get a tattoo that made him look
Lesnar
like
just
a
got bad
badass.
tattoos.
It looks like a dick. It's great.
While we're on the subject of bad kid tattoos, Margaret, since you're here, you want to talk about Maria Manic?
I don't.
Oh my God! What? I'm sorry. Maria Manic is a beautiful woman, and that tattoo is. I'm gonna say it. It's horrible.
It looks like the icon for like a metal band.
I guarantee you, within 5 years, she zaps that thing off. I understand. I think what it is she's trying to get a tattoo that it's because it's part of her gimmick.
I would not advise anyone to get a tattoo as part of a wrestling gimmick, though. That is really, because I do know, I don't know what her ring name is. She made her return to the ring at the Mingo show under the hood. I don't know what her ring name is, and I don't want to give her shoe name because she's clearly doing it under the hood. But she drew barbed wire around her arm.
Okay.
Now, granted, it was a little bit obvious that it was Sharpie.
Yeah.
Well, because at first I'm like, I really hope that's not a tattoo because, like, if that's permanent, I'm sorry. But no, like, I would never, like, I'm of the, there's these kind of, like, evolution in getting tattoos. When you first get them, first of all, it's like a gateway drug. The minute you get one, you're like, you think of, like, 10 others you could get. But the first couple you get are something usually very, very important to you. Usually, family or memories or things that you love. And then the longer you go on, the more tattoos you get, you start to devolve. And then it's anything that looks cool by, like, your 15th tattoo.
Or in my case, the face of a fictional serial killer.
I mean, I wrote a book about a fictional
serial killer. That was one of my...
But no, but getting...
What do you have a tattoo of?
Michael Myers.
Oh.
His dedication to horror movies.
Yeah.
When you get one of Mason Beck.
Dude.
That would... Dude, you know how creepy that would be?
Remember the woman that
had Batcage's name tattooed on her?
Yeah, and then she got it removed, didn't she?
Yeah, she did have it removed.
After he turned heel?
Yeah, after he turned heel, she removed it. Actually, I shouldn't say anything bad. They may have the Franzens may have listened to the show.
My favorite... No, if you want to talk about weird fan stuff, they're, I believe, both women who have bought a pair of Steve Mander's trunks. Used.
Those might be worth something someday, Margaret.
Yeah, but one of the women that bought them tried them on.
So?
I don't even want to know. the fact that he sold 2 pairs of his old trunks.
He still sells them!
Yeah, and the both
No,
women.
he sold 3 now, I think, hasn't
3?
he?
He sold 3
Didn't
now?
he sell a pair in Dubuque?
Oh, he might have.
So, hey.
I still don't even understand the thinking behind buying 8x10s, because I have wrestlers that are friends. I'm not hanging up photos of y'all in gear in my house.
I know fans who keep them in binders.
No, I asked on Twitter, because I actually asked them, like, okay, what do people genuinely... No, people will hang them up.
I mean, people
Genuinely will hang them up in their houses. Like, even... Now, most of the time it's, like, ex-WWE, like, legends. Like, okay, I can understand that, but no, there are people who, like, will hang up, like, indie workers, 8x10s, usually signed, in their homes.
Yeah.
This is the thing we have to remember, though, Margaret, is, like, we're, like, and especially...
We're basically an old married couple already.
No, that's not what I guess I don't get to talk this episode.
What are you saying?
Nope.
Go ahead, Alex.
No, just cut me off. It's the Regal and Margaret show.
Talk, Alex.
Nope, I'm done.
Wow, the show all of a sudden got so much better with Margaret here.
Go ahead. Keep talking, guys.
Alex, what were you gonna say? I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, no, I feel like, to us, like, I don't know. I don't even know if I want to say this on the air.
No, say it.
I don't, like, I hate to say this, but, like, once we're a part of it, it doesn't seem like as big of a deal. Like, you have to remember that to some people, these people are still stars. Like, they're still celebrities. It's still a big deal to some people.
I can't even imagine hanging, like, a photo of a celebrity.
Like, if you got your favorite...
non-wrestling celebrity.
If you got an autographed picture of the all-time lows, you wouldn't put that in a frame and hang it up on the wall?
Not on the wall.
But you'd keep it.
Yeah, I'd keep it, but that would be with me. That's not just like... Because, I'm sorry, the most 8x10s are stock photos. You were buying one of 30 that they bought. That's not unique to you.
Right.
Now, what they signed it might be unique to you, but you have to understand that there's, like, 15 other of that exact photo somewhere else at the moment. So if it was unique to me and it was a memory of mine in a photo, that's different than just a photo of a person.
I guess I agree with that. But
But like, I'm not like saying, there are some people like will like print out like their selfies with wrestlers, but that's a memory. That's not just a person's face.
I will give credit to one person in particular, friend of the show, guy who's going to be at All In with me, Jim Wilson, former Dreamwave regular, has been to some of the AAW Style shows. When Shawn Michaels was there, they came up with the most brilliant idea ever, because Shawn was there for a couple hours.
Yeah.
They went and got their photo op. They got their photo op. Drove the 5 minutes up the road to Walmart.
That makes sense, yeah.
Insta-printed the 8x10 of the picture they took.
Yeah.
Brought it back and had him sign it.
That's smart.
Now, here's the thing. I'm gonna find a place that's got 1 hour photo, probably All In weekend, and there's a good chance I may use that same technique. I may get the 8x10s of possibly like myself with, say, Kenny or...
Kenny Dykstra's going to be at All In?
God, I hope not.
Dun 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 dun.
What do you think the crowd reaction would be if the Spirit Squad showed up?
The
Suicide Squad. Hey, if the Suicide Squad showed up at All In, I'd be totally okay with that.
Hey, here's the thing. You want heat? Come out as the group, dress as Suicide Squad, and claim you're better than anything Marvel's done. Automatic inferno levels of heat. Right there.
No, could you imagine?
I just pitched I shouldn't say this. It might actually happen.
Theme
of the podcast today is Alex saying things and then not wanting to continue saying them.
Can you imagine if they just say that Kenny's coming out to sign autographs at Starcast?
I want that to happen so
Kenny
bad.
Dykstra?
Kenny! Or Kenny Bolin.
Oh, God.
That'd be even worse.
Kenny Bolin. You realize 98% of the people listening to the show just went, who the fuck is Kenny Bolin?
Look him up, guys.
Kenny Bolin, probably one of the best managers in professional wrestling history.
What?
Dude, the guy was great. He could get heat. Come on, Bolin Services back in the day. Did you ever get those old OVW tapes?
I've seen some videos. I get old OVW tapes.
It sucks that
my parents wouldn't let me spend money on that kind of shit.
WWE will never put old OVW completely on the network because the production value was never good enough. It's the same reason they won't put full episodes of Deep South or Florida Championship Wrestling on the network. They'll put single matches up in the hidden gem section, but you won't ever get the full thing because it's the production, especially the early OVW stuff. The production value was not very good.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could do better now with my cell phone.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, too. NXT UK.
Yeah.
We're talking about we predicted it last week on the show, and it pretty much essentially came true yesterday.
I mean, it was pretty obvious. I don't want to... I'm not going to, declare you Nostradamus, Regal.
I did predict it. I did say it was going to happen.
I bet there's going to be wrestling matches on SmackDown tonight, too.
Hey, it's main roster WWE. We can't necessarily be sure. They may go with that Kevin Nash booking style.
Which is?
Oh, do you not remember that? There was an episode of Nitro, and I wish I knew the exact date. It's on Wrestle Crap. It's on all this stuff. There was an episode of Nitro when Nash had the book, where for the first hour and 20 minutes, there was no actual wrestling.
There was a main roster show like that, wasn't there? I feel like I'm trying to remember if it was Raw or SmackDown, but there was definitely one. They're like, seriously, we've been at this for a fucking hour, and there's been one match.
No, literally for the first hour 15 minutes of Nitro, this 3-hour episode of Nitro, there was zero wrestling. And it was all backstage promo, backstage vignettes and in-ring promos, and people just said, "This is the worst episode of Nitro ever." Hell, you look at one of the biggest jump the shark moments. Trust me, there were multiple jump the shark moments in WCW history. Taking 27 minutes to change the set of Nitro from WCW to NWO Nitro.
I loved that.
I loved
I was 7 or 8, but I loved it.
I loved the concept, but they needed to figure out a way to do it faster. It took a third of the show to do it.
But the thing was, Regal, it felt real.
The problem is, when you're in that era, you have 27 minutes of no wrestling. Alex, what happened?
I fucking watched it.
Casual fan, Alex. What would the casual fan do?
I don't give a fuck about the casual fan.
What happened?
Well, you need to, because they're the thing keeping wrestling alive.
What happened was the fans turned the channel to Raw.
Right. Well, I'm sure.
And so it was in concept a great idea.
It felt so real, though.
Hey, at least in the last few weeks, we finally got an answer to something, Alex.
What's that?
Why Dusty joined the NWO?
Oh, I haven't listened. Is it on 83 Weeks?
Dusty, it was because they were going to make NWO and WCW TV shows.
Yeah.
It was going to be Dusty and Eric as the commentary team for the NWO.
Oh, okay. And then they ended up doing Thunder instead.
And then, the transformation to NWO Nitro didn't go well, and they said, "Well, we're not going to do that." And then we remembered, oh yeah, all these assholes with creative control don't want to work on Thursday, so
yeah.
I can't watch I tried listening to part of one episode of 83 Weeks, and I was done.
I love 83 Weeks.
They hate each other. I refuse to believe that they don't hate each other.
No, it's the way it's the same way that Bruce and Conrad were when they started.
It's different because Bruce and Conrad, you can totally tell, even when they're arguing, there's still a bit of camaraderie. But the amount of yelling Conrad does at Bischoff, just one thing after another, and the amount of Bischoff is an even bigger company yes man than Bruce, but he's a company yes man for a company that doesn't exist anymore. So it's extra stupid.
Well, Margaret, it was 20 years ago, and context is king.
Oh my god. Everything, because we watched one episode of him. What was it called?
He was on Legends of Wrestling.
Legends of Wrestling, the round table thing on the network, because they did the Monday Night Wars, and he was there. And the amount of, well, I didn't really mean that. Well, you have to understand, or no, that wasn't my decision. This dude is still trying to do damage control 20 fucking years later.
Bischoff, I Bischoff still, to this day, I will say that.
He just aggravates me hearing him talk.
He's getting better as the show has gone on for a few weeks. He's owned some of it, but a lot of it he will still defend. And when you are in control of something, you are going to defend it.
Probably.
I'm much more of a admit when something was bad, because even Bruce will be like, yeah, we made this decision and it was total shit. Like, what was the episode where they're like, this was the era when creative hated creative?
The Bad Blood 2003 episode from last week.
Like, even he was like, yeah, this episode was shit, we shouldn't have done this, we didn't care. Like, Bischoff doesn't even have that in the worst parts of WCW.
Oh, believe me, as a booker, you don't want to own your you don't necessarily want to own your failure as a booker.
Are you gonna own any failures that happened when you were booking SCW?
I will own a major one.
Oh, what was a major one?
Booking Danny Daniels versus Seth Rock versus Tyler Black 5 shows in a row.
Jesus.
We came up with this idea. Was
it at least like a best of 5 series?
It was a best of 5 series idea.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah.
Wait, idea or like a literal best of 5?
It was literally best.
Okay.
It was a best of 5 series to determine a number 1 contender, and
just to determine a contender.
Yeah, and so we do this 5 shows in a row.
A slow burn.
And
yeah,
as great of talent as Danny Daniels and Tyler Black were, I mean, literally, one half of it is Seth Rollins. The other half is the guy that trained Seth Rollins. You would think on paper this looks like a good idea.
It wasn't?
By the time we got to match 4, the crowd did not care. And, of course, what happens? What's the payoff? Match 5 ends in a double DQ because the champ runs in and beats them both down with the belt.
Jesus.
And the main event becomes a triple threat match.
Oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
That is cock teasing to the point of it doesn't matter anymore.
So, bookings...
Wait, who won the triple threat?
Danny, Tyler, Merrick.
No,
what?
She asked who won the triple threat.
Oh, who won the triple threat? Merrick.
So you had a best of 5 series to determine a number 1 contender, and then the champion retained. You give a false finish on the 5th match of the series, and then
you're so lucky that it wasn't like a televised thing with Twitter back in the day, because they would have reamed you.
Thomas Montgomery would have reamed my ass.
Oh my God! I would have hated you, and I don't usually do the whole. I hated the whole. Well, that was poor booking because I'm not gonna try to. I don't know what it's like to book, but no, that's stupid. Although I will get on it. The whole dick punching thing in SmackDown is beyond stupid. I am so
Especially when you
over
have
that.
2 of the best wrestlers in the world.
Yeah, 2 of the best in the world. The Dream Feud. It's all about hitting each other in the dick. What?
Now again. I want to preface this.
Oh, you're gonna defend this.
You're gonna defend the dick punching, or you're gonna best of 5?
I'm gonna defend the best of 5.
Okay.
Alright. That might be a little more excusable.
I had Tyler Black and I had Danny Daniels.
Yeah.
And then the idea was to get it to a triple threat match at the pay-per-view.
SCW was running pay-per-views
at Epic. At the big show.
The quote-unquote, what is the equivalent of?
Yeah. I'm just...
So, this whole... Now...
You haven't talked about SCW booking on here in a long time.
Now, I'm also going to preface this by saying... Part of the issue with this, the way this booking went down, was... One of the participants involved essentially... kind of was given slight creative control, and this was also kind of their co-opt idea.
Which part of it? The best of 5?
The best of 5 series,
including the DQ finish,
to go 5 shows in a row.
You can go 5 shows. You can do a 5-show feud without just doing. You can actually have a storyline with a 5-show feud.
And my thinking was at this time. We had done a 5-show-in-a-row feud back in year 1 between Buff Enough and Aisle 9.
Tag team's different, I would argue.
That was that when people that were around for SCW year one, that is one of the things.
That's year one post Barn Days?
Yeah, year one post
Okay.
post 2003.
I know.
0304.
SCW timeline is weird. Do we include the Barn Days? Do we don't include the Barn Days?
0304. We talked about it when I interviewed Suge and when I interviewed Merrick. Essentially, WWE's recannoned it, so we kind of have to now. But we had huge success with that best of 5 series between Buff and F and Aisle 9 that drew probably some of our best feedback of those early shows. But like Alex just said it, a tag team feud is different because you can do
There's
a tag
lot
match.
Different stories you can tell in a tag
You
match.
can do stipulations.
I don't know. I can think of one tag team feud I'm ready to not see for a while.
Well, yeah, but
you know what it is.
so okay, well, and I'll lay it out. Here was the thing with the tag team feud. Match 1 was a regular match. Match 2, I want to say, was a street fight. Match 3 was a singles match between F-Buff and Keith Wholesale. Match 4 was a hair versus hair match between Crotch and Merrick Brave. Nick
Stonewall.
Nick Stonewall. Match 5, the first ever SCW ladder match.
So that's
No, that's the story that Crotch told where they forgot to get a ladder for the ladder match and had to go to Home Depot and hold it outside the car.
That's the story.
Because they had no way to they had no truck to get it back.
We got one ladder. The ladder broke.
That is some shindy bullshit.
Hey, in their defense, they were like 19.
We
Yes,
were
but back then, SCW has come a long way. But let's be honest, it started as a yard fed, became a shindy, then got legit.
and in the early days, SCW literally had they were no budget shows. Like, we had no
Who paid
budget.
for the ladder again?
Huh?
Who paid for the ladder again?
Probably the guys in the match. I'm guessing. Yeah, SCW had literally no budget in the early days.
Well, basically, probably whatever you made on the shows probably went
back
to
into the
guys.
company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
But no, in that tag team feud, you're able to tell different stories. Whereas when it's 2 singles guys, it's 2 singles guys having a match 5 shows in a row.
But I mean, there's a way to do a 5-match feud between 2 guys. You do a singles match, then you maybe do a no DQ, then you do and then maybe you
pick your partner match.
pick a partner match, and then maybe pick your poison.
Yeah.
Or you pick a different opponent.
Yeah, we didn't do any of that. We
Special
literally just had
referee.
Yeah. We literally just had 5 shows in a row with 1 match.
And it was a regular match every time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops.
Who gave you the book, kid?
Reasons why Regal should never get the book again.
Hey, I had a lot of
5
good.
of them. No, I'm not going to do this.
Why are you taking a picture?
Because.
We need to get better at Instagram.
Oh.
I'm not sitting. Oh, never mind. Selfie later.
Okay. You smell good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I told her that when she got in the car the other week.
Oh my god.
What?
I told her that when she got in
I
the
just put on lotion. I'm like, sit down.
I'll kill him. I'll kill him.
Hey, if you would go to see horror movies with me, we could have done it together, but you don't want to, so I found some
I
else
went
see
to
scary.
Galesburg and had Pizza Ranch with
Yeah,
Thomas
you
Montgomery.
went to-
And they had shredded iceberg lettuce at the salad bar.
And you didn't even like pizza.
I took Margaret to see
I like
Hereditary.
Thomas.
Yeah, I got dinner and a movie for free, and you have to go eat Pizza Ranch.
Food that Alex doesn't even like.
I like their mashed potatoes.
It's really hard to fuck up mashed potatoes, though.
I don't care what anybody says. I honestly think Pizza Ranch has some of the best fried chicken I've ever
They do
tasted
have
in my
good
life.
chicken.
Oh, I never eat the pizza when we go there. We
Yeah.
only go there for, like, school fundraisers,
yeah.
and I never get pizza.
Chicken and mashed potatoes. Pretty
I
good.
always get, like, the home...
They have good macaroni salad. Oh my gosh, you guys this is making me
We're
hungry.
so... Yeah, we've been eating lunch.
It's not. It's hard to fuck up macaroni salad, bro.
Oh, God, I'm gonna beat your ass right here on the podcast. We're gonna have a match right here on the podcast.
Really?
Yeah. That maybe had to be a first time. I'm sure some shitty ass wrestling podcast has had a match on their podcast.
I mean, you know,
Or, like,
it would require you to take off your hat.
Oh, no, it wouldn't. I could beat you without taking off my hat.
Well, because we know that Regal, once you're knocked on your feet, the match is over.
Well, that's true.
So
I'm literally like King Hippo from Punch-Out.
King Hippo, Dixieland Destroyer, Thunderlord.
Whoa! Whoa!
Remember when everyone thought that he was Dixieland Destroyer?
How you gonna talk about Dixie like that?
Do we remember that?
Yes, sir. People actually thought
Dixieland Destroyer is a good friend of mine. Well,
No.
I don't. No.
No shade to Dixieland Destroyer. But like that size of wrestler, you usually know that if they're gonna get knocked off their feet.
Can somebody tell me, by the way, who was the guys at Mingo Days? Was one of them Thunder Wizard that did the finger in the butt spot?
No,
Amazon. And
that was Amazon and El Bigote.
Both, yeah.
What the hell is an?
That's from the NES.
No,
not NES. Which
El
one was
Bigote.
it?
I don't know what El Bigote is from. It's not from NES.
No, which one is Amazon from?
Amazon is from the NES Pro Wrestling.
Okay. So I knew there was a video game character involved. No, I mean, and we know the guys who it was, but like, first of all, why would you do that in that level of heat?
I found out something amazing the other day.
What's that?
Speaking of NES Pro Wrestling.
What?
Pat Buck's promotion, WrestlePro.
Yeah.
And the Pro Wrestling Syndicate promotion he used to run.
Yeah.
They used to have a guy that was Starman, who would come out wearing he had a full-on bodysuit, would come out to the...
Oh, there's already a Starman.
Starman
again.
Iowa Championship Wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so somebody did this in Pat Buck's promotion. I found out the person who did Starman in Pat Buck's promotion...
What?
Joey Janela.
Was it really?
Yes, it was.
But no, Iowa has the Starman making the rounds.
Has there ever maybe you know about this, and this is just a random thing about thinking about hooded wrestlers. Has there ever been a case where like a contracted guy or a guy that wasn't supposed to be working at a particular promotion would work a masked gimmick and get away with it or not get away with it?
Not in the modern era.
Okay.
And that would basically be virtually impossible to do now with social media, I think.
But not if you don't find out who it was.
But you gotta figure people would figure out tattoos, they'd figure out hair.
Rumors would get around that so-and-so was spotted backstage.
Yeah.
But how could you prove it?
I guarantee this happened from time to time during the territory days.
Sure.
But I don't know of any specific instance of this.
I have one in my mind. I don't think he'd care, but I also don't. Masked character.
Well,
and that continues the trend of Alex bringing up things he doesn't actually want to talk about.
He won't give a shit. Technically, actually, there are two people that did this.
Okay.
Well, and the thing is, though, those gimmicks were very tongue in cheek, and you were supposed to kind of know who they were.
Yeah.
Masked character.
Yeah.
Matt Cage in freelance wrestling.
Yeah.
When he was still working for AEW.
Yeah.
And then the other one, Sally Stitches in freelance wrestling.
That was Ruby Riott, wasn't it?
Ruby Riott.
Yeah.
God, Marcus even did something like that for freelance at one point. I can't remember what Marcus's name was in freelance.
Why do you keep taking pictures of the
Instagram? God damn it!
Okay,
how many
you
times
took
do I have to
3
say
pictures
that?
of
Because you don't know how social media works.
I don't know how social media. You're gonna tell me I don't.
Why did your voice all of a sudden sound like your Timothy Regal impression? I don't know how social media works. I don't know how social media works.
Stop!
I get really mad to talk like this.
Stop this nonsense, please.
And then
Let me tell you something, please.
For a second, I thought I heard you there for a second there.
Yeah, I was over in the other room, really.
Okay.
If you will, I heard you talking about social media. And there's one person who's really good at social media. Cody, my son. The fruit of my looms, baby, if you will. You remember when I was in the Fruit of the Loom commercial, Regal?
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that. Anyways, so what you guys talking about?
We were talking about a lot of stuff.
You know, there was a time when there was a certain particular person who was banned from the NWA, baby. And then a certain Midnight Rider showed up, if you will, and nobody knew who it was.
Dusty.
What's going on, baby?
Everybody knew who the Midnight Rider was.
What do you mean everybody knew who the Midnight Rider was?
Dusty, I was 8 years old.
You was 8 years old? You was a little baby.
I knew who the Midnight Rider was.
You did?
Yes. You weren't.
You thought it was Magnum TA.
You weren't very convincing, Dust.
What about, there was a time when a certain superstar was suspended from the WWF, and then the man showed up who was the giant machine, if you will.
Yeah, that one at least. Well, he didn't talk much, so at least there was a little bit. But
the giant machine.
I remember when you.
Didn't he have a tag team partner called the Hulk Machine?
Yeah, and then he had the Piper Machine too.
What?
Piper Machine.
I don't remember that one.
I remember when you booked a guy to be suspended, and they came back as a guy named the Yellow Dog.
Yellow Dog?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Brian Pillman?
No, it wasn't. How could you tell?
Okay. Well, when his hair was coming out the back of his thing, and you could still.
Why you trying to talk? How come every time I try to come on here, you try to talk like me?
When
You know I hate it when you do that, Regal. You not me, baby. You Jim Hurd wannabe.
I know.
You Oliver Humperdinck wannabe.
Hey,
You Lee Marshall wannabe.
Hey, Dust.
What's going on, baby?
Did you watch that photo shoot with Goldust?
I haven't watched it yet, baby. I got a lot of things going on up here.
They got you. You're on it.
Of course I am. How they gonna put something on there about one of my kids and not talk about the dream?
Well, they show your favorite promo, Dust.
That's Alex's favorite promo too.
Yeah, where you talk about walk behinders.
Walk behind us, and the view never changes.
You know, we're getting closer to All In, Dust.
I know, baby. I'm excited.
The
only way it could have been better is if I would have booked it.
Yeah, I watched some Ring of Honor this weekend, Dust.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, how was it?
Cody wrestled Jonathan Gresham.
Who?
Jonathan Gresham.
Oh, I like him.
Good guy.
I think so too. I like Jonathan Gresham. Yeah.
Brady had Bullet Club leggings on.
I saw those.
They were nice.
You better stop looking at Brady like that. You got lust in your eyes, Regal.
Hey, Cody posted about it on Instagram.
About you having lust in your eyes?
No, Cody posts on social media about how hot his wife is, so I assume it's okay to do.
That's his business. You stay out of his business, if you will. What he posts on Instagram is private for him and his eyes only. That's how social. Damn it, Regal! I can't say it.
Hey, Dust.
What's the matter with you?
I know you've been. I know you're a little bit out of it. Social media works the exact opposite.
What do you mean?
When you post something on social media, everybody sees it.
Well, not everybody. Some people don't have social media.
Okay, unless you're Timothy Thatcher, everybody sees it.
I like him.
He don't have social media.
Good for him. You don't need it. Anyways, I'll come back later to do the plugs.
You come back later to do the plugs?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I thought of another one.
Oh.
Mr. America. Nobody knew who that was.
Nope, nobody had a clue, Dust.
Nobody.
Got that 100%.
That was a good idea. Was I on the right team? I wasn't on the right team yet then.
On the right team then.
No. I think I was in TNA.
Yep, you were TNA still. You were the director of authority.
The director of authority. Sitting in the back of a pickup truck. That was good stuff. Alright, I'll come back later. So, Dusty Rhodes with plenty of examples of times guys lost a stipulation
Wore a mask.
where they had to wear a mask. And
Dusty,
it was completely obvious who it was.
Dusty thought nobody knew who Mr. America was. I was not going to argue with him on that one.
You don't argue
I
with
just let the dream go, man.
Absolutely. Dream on. But that was a fun topic.
Yeah.
You know, masked people.
Dude, there was a lot of wrestling this weekend.
There was a lot of wrestling this weekend.
We had TakeOver, we had Money in the Bank,
Yep.
2 Ring of Honor shows, which I still haven't
watched
finished.
those.
There's 3 New Japan shows behind us.
Has the G1 started yet?
No, the G1 has not started, but they did reveal the G1 blocks.
Yeah, is it just me or is B block a shit ton stronger than
Hold
A
on, 'cause I'm
block?
going to pull it up so I actually have it.
Because there's only like
up.
2 or 3 dudes that I'm interested in A block and a bunch in B block.
I'm going to pull it up. Let me see. Ringside Chat. Shout out to our good friends over at the Ringside Chat group.
Do you know who's not in? You know who isn't in the G1?
Cody?
The Young Blocks.
Yeah, a lot of people actually were saying that, and I'm like, here's the thing.
Are the tag champions usually in the G1?
Depends on who. Not who. Not
who? Jim Neidhart? Has Jim Neidhart ever been in the G1?
Oh, Lord.
Has he?
Just walked right into that one.
Has Jim Neidhart ever been in the G1?
No.
I'm trying to educate myself about New Japan Pro Wrestling
No.
and you're not being very helpful.
Jim Neidhart was never in the G1.
Well, was Brett?
No, WWE never had a deal with New Japan. That was always WCW. Rick Rude was in the G1.
Okay.
Do
you think it would benefit WWE to have some kind of deal with I don't know if a Japanese promotion, but like, could you imagine just the ability to send guys away for a while instead of just putting them on TV when you don't have anything for them?
Yeah.
Just like, could you imagine like Randy Orton in the G1? Like, I actually think Orton would do okay in Japan.
Okay, I've got it pulled up here.
Oh, I had an idea of somebody else who I thought would do well in Japan the other day, and I can't think of who it was now.
Okay, so your A block.
Mm-hmm.
You have Okada.
Mm-hmm.
You have Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Yep.
You have Hangman Page.
Oh, I get Hiroshi Tanahashi mixed up with
Hiromu Takahashi.
Yeah.
A lot of
close.
people do. You have Hangman Page.
Yep.
Bad Luck Fale.
Yep.
Togi Makabe.
I don't know who that is.
Jay
I
White.
recognize the name. Okay.
Evil.
Yep.
Minoru Suzuki.
Yep.
Yoshihashi.
Yep.
And name redacted.
Oh, yeah.
See,
See, and that's what I said, like, not, like, out of that thing, like, Tanahashi, interesting, Okada, interesting, Suzuki, that's about it for me.
I think, this block is interesting because I think you're going to see a lot for Hangman Page.
Yeah.
And I think you're going to see a lot for Jay White.
That would make sense.
Fale,
But my question is, are there people in there that they can have good matches with?
You have Okada, you have Tanahashi,
Yeah,
you have,
but those are going to be their losses.
I am absolutely looking forward to Minoru Suzuki versus Hangman Page. I think
That'd
that's
be
going to
good,
be great.
yeah.
And I hate to say it, but the few times they've been in the ring together, Redacted and Suzuki always have good matches.
That doesn't surprise me, because they probably just beat the shit out of each other.
And, okay, for those of you who haven't figured out, Redacted is Michael Elgin. I'll just throw that out there. Elgin
You would think we had, like, a censor on the podcast this week. Like, with the number of times, like, I've held back saying things, and then you're trying to redact Michael Elgin, like...
Elgin, unfortunately, has really good G1 matches.
Yeah.
As does Fale. So, this block...
What's wrong with Fale?
No, he actually is great in the G... He shines in the G1. He really does.
Okay.
And I'm interested to see, have you seen Bad Luck Fale recently?
No.
He's dropped a ton of weight.
I don't think I could pick Bad Luck Fale out of a lineup, to be perfectly honest.
Fale's dropped a ton of weight.
Okay.
So,
like I said, I don't think I would recognize him if he walked by me on the street. Unless he was wearing, like, a Bullet Club shirt, and then I'd be like... If I saw a big, muscular Japanese dude walk by... He's not Japanese. Whatever. Keep talking.
But yeah, your A block...
A-Block doesn't look that good to me.
I'm trying to figure out who's going to come out of it, and obviously your big three there are Okada, Tanahashi, Suzuki. Maybe... I don't think they're going to put Jay... I don't think they put Jay White over the block, but I think you're going to see...
I think it'll be Okada or Tanahashi.
I think you're going to see Jay... I think you're going to see Jay and Hangman Page make deep runs.
I think they'll have good performances. I don't see either of them winning.
Then we get to your B block, and this block is freaking loaded. And I'll start it off with... You have Tama Tonga.
Yep.
Toru Yano.
I don't know who
And
that is.
Yano is the guy that does the low blows, that pulls off the ring pad.
Oh, is he the meme guy where he's the...
Yeah, the shrug guy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
okay,
that's
I know
him.
who that is.
And Yano is in this block for a reason, and I will get into that in a minute. Because here's the rest of your block. You had Tonga and Yano. So here's the rest. Juice Robinson, Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, Zack Sabre Jr., Sonata, Tetsuya Naito, Kota Ibushi, and Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
You have
Why did they not balance the brackets?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys in that block that are just going to go out and crush it every single night. Here is why Yano and Tama are in this block.
To lose?
They're going to take falls.
Yeah.
They're going to get some spoiler. They'll get some spoiler points. Yano will low blow somebody and roll them up for a spoiler. I guarantee it.
Is a low blow not illegal in New Japan?
If the referee doesn't see it, it's not.
Oh.
Tama Tonga.
Wow, spoken like a true heel, Regal.
Tama Tonga is a guy that can go out and have a decent 10, 11 minute match and not have to work too hard. But basically, you're going to get a couple nights there where you're going to get a night off, essentially, during the blocks.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple, 4-day straight runs.
Yeah.
They did do a little bit, it's a little bit more spaced out. There's a little bit more off days. I know was one section where they got, there was a couple sections where they have, 2 days off. So there are some off days. But essentially, they're there to basically keep guys. You can rotate out every couple of nights and have a match where it's not so heavy. But, I mean, you look at this block. Obviously, the one that sticks out more than everything is you wrestle everybody in your block.
Right.
Kota Ibushi's going to wrestle Kenny Omega.
That's how math works.
We're going to have a Golden Lovers match.
Yep.
We're going to have Naito versus Kenny, who Naito and Kenny have been jarring back and forth on social media recently.
Nice.
We're going to have Kenny versus Tomohiro Ishii, which has I think that happened during the American title tournament, and it was an amazing match. The match I'm looking forward to, Kenny Omega versus Zack Sabre Jr.
That'll be very good.
You got Zack Sabre versus Naito. Zack Sabre versus Tomohiro Ishii. Zack Sabre versus Hiroki Goto. This Goto versus all these guys. Juice is going to be in this block and is going to be able to continue the elevation of Juice Robinson's game.
Yeah.
You have a lot of guys. I don't see Kenny advancing to the finals.
Really?
Traditionally, and there's actually been, I've actually seen some tweets, why is the champion even in the G1? Because what they do is do the champion for in the G1.
Okada was in it last year, wasn't he?
Yeah, the champion's in it every year.
Oh.
In the G1, what they do for the champion is essentially they will be in the mix until the final day and probably lose to somebody or somebody else that beat them while getting enough points to advance. What they do is traditionally they'll have the champ take 1 or 2 pinfalls.
Yeah.
And then between the G1 and Wrestle Kingdom, the champion wrestles the guys that beat him in the G1.
Right.
For the belt. So you can do, and the match that stands out to me there is Naito versus Omega.
Right.
If Naito pins Omega and then doesn't win the G1, there's your King of Pro Wrestling main event.
Yeah.
Say Sonata pins Kenny. There's a match for Power Struggle.
Yeah.
It's very easy to do. Now, and again, I haven't looked at the schedule yet. The schedule they released the main events of the nights on the 3rd day at Kazuna Road. I don't know if the full schedule has been released yet. And trust me, I'm one of the guys who will sit down with a pen and a pad when the full schedule gets released and essentially try to work it out.
Are they gonna do predictions in ringside for the entire G1?
We will.
Yeah.
And Voices of Wrestling does a actual pool through using like Google Forum or whatever.
All right.
And they actually give out a prize pack. So I literally do sit down with a pen and a pad and try to figure this whole. And the Voices of Wrestling one, you have to predict the whole tournament before the start of the tournament.
Damn.
So I literally last year had to sit down with a pen and a pad and try to figure out the point totals and who was. I don't know how Gato and Jado figure this out.
Yeah.
Like that this guy is going to beat this guy and this guy's going to beat that guy, so that when we get 18 days into this thing, that this guy and this guy and this guy, we get to the final day where if this guy beats this guy advances, and this guy beats this guy advances, and.
Well, I imagine they'd have to do a little something called booking ahead of time.
I mean, but like it just the thought of trying to figure out all the math and how it all works out in the scenarios, it literally just like makes your head spin.
I love doing shit like that. I actually am thinking about doing like a G1 style tournament in my EWR game.
But if I knee-jerk reaction for who makes it out of the blocks, I'm gonna say Ibushi versus Okada. is your G1 final.
That'd be interesting.
And I'm going to say Ibushi over.
And then do Kenny and Kota at Wrestle Kingdom?
The Golden Lovers at Wrestle Kingdom. You can slot Okada in against Jericho. I think Okada Jericho is a match they haven't done yet.
Yeah.
That I think could be a big money match. You can slot Naito in against, say, Cody or something.
Yeah.
There's, and you try to figure it out as to what, because I don't think you can go back to Kenny and Okada this quick.
I wouldn't have them touch for probably at least a year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously
that's just my booking style, though.
We'll get another match out of those two at some point, maybe in next year's G1. Who knows? But yeah, I know it's like in this.
Or what you could do, Regal. What you could do with Kenny and Okada is have them face each other 5 shows in a row.
No, you shouldn't do that. I mean,
I'm teasing.
You look at this G1, and obviously, and I'm interested to see where because this will main event tonight, and I'm interested to see where they slot it. We're going to get a Tanahashi Okada match.
Yeah.
And the last one, and obviously, they had the match a few months ago where Okada broke the title defense record and all that. The last time these two met in the G1 a couple years ago, they went 30-minute Broadway.
Yeah.
So you've got matches in here that you've seen before, but they're always good.
I actually plan to watch some of the G1 this year.
Well, and the good thing for the G1 this year, they just recently.
Can we put New Japan World on our wedding registry, Margaret?
What?
Can we put New Japan World on our wedding registry?
If I just give you my login, because that count as a wedding present?
No. But you're still going to do that. The fuck?
Sorry.
Unprofessional.
Facebook has this thing where the video instantly starts sometimes now.
Yeah.
Like when you scroll by it and the sound comes on and it annoys the shit out of me.
That's why I have my sound turned off for everything all the time. To the point where sometimes I have a hard time getting the sound on when I want it. But no, the G1 looks interesting this year. Speaking of tournaments, have you seen the first round results for the UK tournament?
No, I have not. I'm staying spoiler free.
Oh, okay.
I know. I think I know who won the tournament based on the fact we had to do a ringside chat prediction sheet. But as far as like anything else that happened on day one, I stayed spoiler free. And as far as anything that happened,
well, I only know the first round.
Yeah.
The first round didn't happen.
Oh, well, the first round
wasn't
actually
at the tapings.
No, I did see some of the first round stuff.
So like looking at it, I'm guessing. I'm just gonna freestyle it because I haven't looked at any spoilers, so I don't know. I only know who won the first round matches. Looking at that, I'm guessing that either Flash Morgan Webster or Travis Banks won the whole thing. Do you want to weigh in at all?
I honestly can't remember right now who won.
I don't want to know who won. I'm just curious what you think of either of those being the winner. Because to me, with the new brand and the new...
Travis Banks, I think, is a good possibility. Who else did you say?
Flash Morgan Webster.
I actually picked Flash Morgan Webster to go to the finals. To win it. I will say that.
I'm guessing that was the final because just looking at the bracket and who was left,
yeah,
that struck me as the obvious final. Unless they're the only way that wasn't the final, I think, is if they were like already pushing their already pre-established guys. In which case, I could see like Gallagher going to the final, but I really don't see them needing to get him over just because he's already established. I think they used the tournament to establish the new talent that's going to be a part of the regular brand. Do you have any theories on what that's going to look like?
On the NXT UK brand?
Yeah.
I assume it's going to look like NXT.
But I mean, in terms of like roster, like...
I mean, you've seen all the guys they've signed. I think you're going to do that. It wouldn't surprise me if they prop it up with some different guys. A guy who I think they could bring over, since technically he's not British, but he is European, is Fabian Eichner.
Yeah.
Who, if you've only seen Fabian Eichner like in the Cruiserweight Classic, the amount of weight he had to cut to get in the Cruiserweight Classic had to be insane because the guy's like 265 pounds of nothing but muscle now.
Yeah.
He's jacked as hell. I do know Wolfgang wrestles Adam Cole on day 2, so Wolfgang is still there. He just wasn't in the tournament.
Okay.
Because I was wondering why Wolfgang wasn't in the tournament.
Are they going? And here's my question:
who's the kid that got trained by Finn Balor? Jordan Devlin.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you got him there. I'm excited for El Ligero. I love Ligero. A guy who's basically, I think, 16 or 18 year vet, who's basically finally going to get his shot.
Right. My other question that I wanted to ask is, does it have to be just UK guys?
Well, that is the interesting question too. Are they going to probably? I mean, Drew Gulak was in this tournament. Obviously, Jack Gallagher.
Jack Gallagher is British.
Triple H books 205 Live and NXT.
Yeah.
They could use some of the 205 Live guys. It'll be interesting to see where they go with it. I'm excited about it. Anything...
Could they take like a Donovan Dijak and put him on that brand?
Could Chris Dijak go over there?
Chris Dijak, yeah.
There's so many guys right now in the Performance Center that aren't even getting TV time on NXT.
Yeah.
I mean, hell... EC3 had to sit ringside at TakeOver.
Yeah.
I mean...
Well, I also see, like, could they take the tag team of Oni Lorcan and...
Could Oni and Danny go over?
Oni and Danny.
That's a good question. Danny's British. Oni is not British, but...
Okay, but do they have to all be UK guys? Do they have to all be from the United Kingdom?
I would say no. So
I would say no also.
You very easily could have Oni and Danny go over and win the first ever UK tag titles.
Yeah. It's exciting. It's an exciting time to be a wrestling fan. Like Gary Freeland talked about WWE kind of creating their own faux territory system, and I'm like, I would love that.
And again, that's what Paul Levesque, Triple H, is essentially doing. Mm-hmm. Some people don't like it. Some people say they hoard talent, but
they're starting to create enough content to support the amount of talent they have.
And here's the thing. This is going to create more content for the WWE Network.
Yep.
You know what you're not seeing on the WWE Network anymore?
What's that?
There's no Legends House.
Yeah.
I think they still do ride along, don't they?
Occasionally.
They're not like the WWE list, WrestleMania Rewind. And
I liked most of those shows.
But those shows that they did for the network in the early days weren't going to last overly long.
Yeah.
And like the fans really don't want cheesy reality show type content.
Speak for yourself. I'm really excited to see Ms. and
Hey,
Mrs.
I'm totally watching Ms. and Mrs., okay? But that's on USA Network. And I know there's been a lot of backlash, and they say, well, people don't watch the live feed stuff. When the live feed is them showing a marathon of Total Bellas episodes, I'm not watching that shit.
Sometimes I will. I don't do it so much anymore. I used to watch the live feed because, like, one thing that I miss about having, like, cable, and it's the reason why I will watch our antenna a lot, is, to me, there is such a thing as television being a mindless activity. Not having to think about what do I want to watch, and having, like, sometimes I just don't want to make that decision. I don't want to decide what I want to watch. I just want to turn on the TV and watch whatever's on.
IEB last night when I got home, and it's, do I watch Ring of Honor? Do I watch New Japan? Do I watch Old School Crockett? Do I watch Star Trek Voyager on Netflix? Sometimes it's really hard to make a decision as to what you want to watch.
Sometimes it's like, I want to watch this, I'm going to watch this. Sometimes I just want to put something on and not have to think about what to watch. So
basically, it's background noise.
Yeah, or I'll flip through the channels until I find the least offensive thing, and I'll end up watching, like, the one day I ended up watching The Partridge Family on one of those, like,
dear God, why?
high def satellite channels.
Oh my God, of all...
Because sometimes I don't want to think about what to watch.
But it's the Partridge Family.
I didn't know what it was. I thought it was the Monkees at first.
There literally is one good reason that you should want to watch the Partridge Family.
You're going to tell me that one of them was hot.
Huh?
Basically what Alex said.
You're going to say that one of the sister was hot?
Yeah, Susan Day was hot. Okay, that's the only reason anybody should ever have wanted to watch the Partridge Family. In my opinion.
Wouldn't it be Susan Bonaducci?
She didn't marry Danny Bonaducci.
No, it's her brother.
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. Were they not a real family?
No. They were.
I know nothing about the Partridge Family.
No, the Partridge Family was not real family. They were actors.
Oh, okay. So
sorry, bro.
So no wonder none of them look alike.
Yeah, because ginger-haired Danny Partridge looks nothing like Keith.
You sure do know a lot about the Partridge Family, Regal.
What did it used to come on after? And I'd always see it. Back in the day, it came on, I think, on like WGN at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And yeah, okay, for a 70s chick, Susan Day was pretty hot.
For a 70s chick, explain that, Regal.
There's like different, like...
I'm sorry, was the entirety of humanity less attractive in the 1970s?
Well, the hairstyles and stuff were different, is what you're...
You don't like Farrah Fawcett hair?
No, not at all. Hairstyles were different. Clothing was different. Let's face it, clothing in the 70s was atrocious.
I like 70s clothing, thank you. You, sir, grew up in the 80s, and you're talking about atrocious clothing.
What are you talking about? Parachute pants were awesome.
And shoulder pads and blazers everywhere.
Hey, are you knocking
and the
on...
seagull's hair. Explain the seagull's hair.
I make no defense of anybody who ever got a flock of seagulls haircut. Hey, are you knocking on my members only jacket, ma'am?
I'm just saying, you got a lot of balls knocking on 70s clothing when you were in the 80s. Because I saw your reaction. I saw your reaction to when Natalia was on Southpaw Regional Wrestling and she was dressed up as one of those 80s glow girls. You lost your shit.
Debbie Desperado, way hotter than normal, Natalia. I'm not going to lie.
You love 80s fashion on women. So don't you go talking shit about 70s fashion.
What was Renee Young?
She was Susan.
Susan, yeah. Susan, smoking hot.
Susan! She was that Susan.
Dude, we haven't even talked about TakeOver yet. we're almost an hour into the show. We haven't even talked about TakeOver. Or Money in the Bank.
Nope.
TakeOver was probably the greatest wrestling show of the year.
So far.
They only had 5 matches.
And
I think that's part of the appeal.
It's the part of the things that make TakeOver so good is the fact that there's not a dead match on the show. It's 5 matches, roughly 2.5 hours. I think this show went a little over that, didn't it?
Well, it was on the
About 2:45.
This seemed like the longest TakeOver that I think that they've done because Ciampa and Gargano went 40 minutes, damn near, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
And that match, Jesus God. Me and Alex, we talked about this on the phone, and I'll just kind of summarize it. People talk a lot about the Meltzer rating system these days and blah, blah, blah.
FDM.
Who's to say, at this point, we've always on this show defended the wrestling as a buffet theory.
Yeah.
How can you say that Kenny Omega and Okada get 7 stars, but Tommaso and Johnny, who went out there and absolutely killed each other, beat the piss out of each other, told a story better than possibly anything we've seen in years.
The most slow-burning story, definitely.
And say that only gets 5.
Did it get 5?
I'm just saying. I would give it at least 5. I'd give it 5.5 to 6.
Wait, let me see. I'll look it up.
Is it out yet?
I'll see.
The point is,
think the Observer comes out today, so...
There's a lot of people
Yeah.
that are probably going to sit here and say they enjoyed Tommaso and Johnny more than they would enjoy Okada and Kenny.
Probably, yeah.
You're going to have a sector of the audience that's going to say Kenny and Okada was better than Johnny and Tommaso because Johnny and Tommaso were using weapons and Gaga and all this.
Yet, I don't think.
Okay.
They have the last match between them as 5 stars.
But the thing is, neither person in either camp is going to necessarily be wrong.
Yeah.
Because here's the key to the Meltzer star rating system. It's the opinion of one fucking guy.
Thank you, Regal. How long have I been saying that? You've been defending his ass.
I will defend Dave to the point of, especially if you're doing tape study of classic stuff, the Meltzer rating system is a good guideline.
Not necessarily, because he's rating 2 different kinds of shows. Because someone once talked about how, like, the Kenny Omega match in that whole show was was the best example of wrestling. TakeOver was the best example of sports entertainment, because the amount of story that went into that, like, the Gargano-Ciampa match, way more and above most things that happen in, especially, like, a lot of that kind of indie wrestling for wrestling's sake shows.
I like how you sat between us for, like, 15 minutes and didn't say anything, and then as soon as you went back to the other room, you started contributing again.
How do I work? Don't worry about it.
But when I say like study a tape, I mean, I've used the Meltzer rating system to go back and watch a lot of classic All Japan stuff, a lot of the stuff on New Japan, the classic stuff on New Japan World. I'll say, what do I need to see? What do I need to see? And that's where you check out Dave's ratings, or you check out Wade's ratings from back in the day. But sitting here in 2018 in the moment, having watched both of those matches essentially live, I watched Kenny and Okada's match live. I had to work, so I watched on tape delay. But I stayed off social media for TakeOver. Both matches are amazing. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that one is necessarily better than the other.
I haven't watched Okada and Omega, so...
I thought that, honestly, I said this as soon as it was done, the opening match of TakeOver was probably better than anything on Money in the Bank last night.
Yeah, I'd say that held up.
And I will pretty much agree, and I will stand by that statement. Money in the Bank was probably a better than average WWE pay-per-view. I was entertained by it for the most part.
I would agree with that. Well, and this is the interesting thing from my experience, because we talked about this, I don't watch Raw or SmackDown anymore. I just don't. I don't have time. Well, this is the thing. There was a time, I probably have time now. When I didn't have time, I just realized that A, I didn't miss it, and B, when it came to be pay-per-view time, I didn't feel left out. They show enough fucking recap videos and...
Literally, here's the thing with WWE pay-per-view. You cannot watch Raw and SmackDown, watch WWE pay-per-view, and you're still going to know exactly what's happening, because as the guys are coming to the ring for every fucking match now, they show a goddamn recap video.
Yeah, which is fine for someone like me that doesn't watch Raw or SmackDown. I'm getting caught up on the West Wing.
I did watch Raw this morning and actually was highly entertained by it.
Good.
Seth Rollins, Dolph Ziggler had an amazing match.
Well, and it's easy to be entertained too when it's only 90 minutes.
And yeah, I could bang it out on Hulu in 90 minutes.
Banging out with Timothy Regal.
That's a whole different type of podcast.
Wasn't there a show called, didn't there used to be a show on MTV called Banging Out? Wildin' Out.
Wildin' Out.
It was an improv show.
Yeah.
Yeah, with, was it Puff Daddy? No.
It was Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon, same thing.
Banging It Out would be a podcast on the Slam Fam with me and Kat, and it would be a completely, entirely different type of podcast.
Hey, we already do the fan fiction on Bell's thing.
Woo!
Speaking of banging it out,
when you're living,
Rick
Regal,
what's going on?
Did you watch Money in the Bank?
I did.
Thought it was a travesty.
I'm gonna guess I know why, Rick.
You're telling me that I've got a couple issues.
Okay, Rick. What are your...
First of all, Carmelita went up against Asuka. And when that woman came out dressed up as Asuka, I thought it was Ashley.
Hey, Rick.
I thought Ashley was going to come out, and then Paige was going to come out and make it a triple threat,
Hey, Rick.
and Ashley was going to be the
Rick.
women's champion again. What?
The person dressed as Asuka?
Yeah,
That was James
Asuka.
Ellsworth.
Yeah, I watched the damn thing. I saw it. I was there.
That's a guy.
I saw it. I was there.
He said the woman that came out.
When she was dressed as Asuka, I thought it was a woman.
It was James Ellsworth.
I know. Why are you trying to tell me something that I saw? And you know what? You know why it couldn't have been Ashley, I realized afterwards? Because she's about a foot taller than that little bum.
Yeah.
Anyways, and then they had Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax for the Raw Women's title. It should have been Ashley. Should have been Ashley. And I don't know. It doesn't matter. It could have been anybody else with Ashley. And then they had that little Ashley mini-me that Vern Troyer wannabe, Alexa Bliss, that mini Ashley, come out trying to ride Ashley's coattails and be the off-brand Ashley. And she won the women's title again. Are you kidding me?
I quite enjoyed that.
I don't give a shit what you liked. But they're protecting Ronda because they want it to be a big deal when Ashley gets in the... They're trying to finally make another woman on the roster equal in stature to Ashley, so they're trying to protect this Ronda girl who they found. They're trying to protect her, make her look good. It makes sense. I approve. I just don't like it that they've got mini Ashley cashing it in.
Rick, I'm surprised. I'm surprised you don't like Alexa.
Why?
I figured she'd be, up your alley. She's a pretty girl.
I'm married.
Well, I mean, you got Wendy now, but
Yeah.
But back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day, she wouldn't have been younger than my daughter.
But
Hey, I'm the man. I'm not the king. If you know what I mean. Woo!
But let's say all things being equal, say Alexa was Alexa back in 1991.
Was she even born in 1991?
We're talking semantics.
Why are you looking at these young
We're talking
women?
hypotheticals here, Rick.
Hypothetically, I'd put your ass in the figure four right now and make you squeal like a pig.
I'm just saying, you would have taken Alexa to Space Mountain back in the day.
Every woman with a pulse wanted to ride Space Mountain in 1991. Most women still do. Most. Not all, but most.
Is Space Mountain still open? I mean, I don't know. You've had a rough go lately, Rick.
I don't think it's any business of yours if Space Mountain's open or not.
Oldest ride, longest line, right?
That's right. Yep.
All right, Rick.
All right, I'm out of here.
All right. You want to pop Dusty on the shoulder? Tell him to get back in here.
You want him to come in and do the plugs?
Well, you get him here to do the plugs.
Why don't you have the Nature Boy do the plugs?
You want to do the plugs, Rick?
I'll do the plugs.
All right.
Go ahead and follow Ashley at WWE Charlotte. I think that's what it is, isn't it?
I think so, Rick.
And that's all you need to follow.
What about the show?
What about the show?
We need to follow the show?
I'm out of here. We'll see you next week for the Ashley Appreciation episode.
Oh, boy.
I don't know what you expected.
Dusty!
Let me tell you something, baby.
Rick tried to do the plugs.
I already tried to do the plug.
He wouldn't.
That's pretty funny, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh boy, you almost hit the hour and a half mark.
We did.
It's a good thing you're not on that other network anymore.
No.
Anyways, you gotta go to work soon, Regal.
I do gotta go to work soon.
Anyways, let me tell you something, baby. Go ahead and follow Margaret Adele, that sweet, sassy, beautiful woman that she is. Go ahead and follow her at Bells in a Cell. They dropped a new episode last week. I listened to all of it, and it was spectacular. The best podcast on the Slam Fan Wrestling Network, if you ask me. Go ahead and follow her also at Margaret_Adele. Go ahead and follow Regal if you want, I guess, at SCW Regal 444. Go ahead and follow the most magnificent groom of the summer. The groom of the summer, baby. That 7-star mind, the brilliant leader of the 7-star mind academy. At World Real Smart Alex, the groom of the summer, Regal. You will refer to him as the groom of the summer from now on, baby. Because he's hot. And go ahead and follow the podcast at Off the Chest TR. And then go ahead and... Baby, do you like us on Facebook? You like us on Facebook, Regal?
Slam Fam Wrestling Network.
The Slam Fam Wrestling Network. Go ahead and follow us on Instagram. Boy, Margaret Dell is taking over that Instagram, and she is just so sweet. She be posting them videos. She gonna be the next Hokey, I'm telling you.
She is way better at Instagram than me or Alec. There is no doubt about that.
There's no doubt about it, baby. But she gonna be the next Hokey. You heard it here first, baby. Go ahead and follow her. Follow the Instagram at Slam Fam Wrestling, and then follow the Slam Fam Wrestling Network on Twitter at Slam Fam Rest, WREST. And I'm going to turn it over to my good friend, Mr. Lance Catamaran. This is Lance Catamaran, and they better come out with a new season of Southpaw soon, so I don't lose my relevance. For Margaret Adele, Timothy Regal, The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, The Nature Boy, Ric Flair, and the Groom of the Summer, the 7-star mind, Alex McCarthy, this is Lance Catamaran. And we'll see you at the show. SCW Unbroken this Saturday night, Walcott, Iowa, 6:30 doors, 7 o'clock bell, $10 at the door. We'll see you there. 116 East Bryant Street, Walcott, Iowa.